but the Ravens just got past a very gutty, gritty game with Pittsburgh. And the bigger part is that they couldn't rest everybody. And actually wanted to talk the first one, Rocco, you got to, and hey, you actually look pretty good in the video. Shout out to you.
Did your hair nice?
Yeah, your hair looked good. I mean,
Thanks,
that's when
guys.
you don't wear a hat. So why don't we
that.
play that? Rocco got to talk with Patrick Queen after the game with Vox 45 about just kind of after the game, how he was feeling and as they move towards the postseason for Baltimore.
Which really flips for playoff mode. He said right away, is that the case for everyone in this locker room? Like, when does playoff mode begin?
Most definitely right now. You get one shot, and it's not a long time, so you got to just capitalize. You get one game promise, and it's not promised. I mean, that game is promised, but, when it's not promised. So you just got to do everything that you can to capitalize and seize your opportunity and take advantage of the moment. It doesn't always come around how we are set up right now, so we just got to take advantage.
It's now. Really, take care of your bodies, get ready. We got the advantage. We get an off week to get our guys healed up, get some guys back. But like I said, we get a week of preparation early than what most guys get. I think it's going to benefit us a good way. We just got to keep playing like we've been playing for the past few weeks before this game, and we'll be okay.
This is what we've been talking about since training camp. This is what we've been talking about every week, week out. 1-0. So it's time to really stand on what we're talking, stand on business. Because it's here. This is our moment. So we got to be disciplined and preparation, discipline, and game plan schemes and stuff like that. Because this is our moment. It's not. We lose now and then we got another chance. You lose and you're out. So we got to seize it.
All right. So that actually was the combination of Patrick Queen, Odafe Owe, and Jadeveon Clowney.
I thought it was going to be a different video, honestly.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
That was
your fault.
Okay. Well, thanks for the help, Rock.
Yeah, I mean, I just tried to do my part.
Well, okay, but so let's start with the first part, Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen really was in for a majority of the game, which made a lot of Ravens fans nervous, very nervous, but he is okay. Obviously, every player gets a little bit banged up at the end of the season. Everyone was nervous about Geno Stone there. But overall, Rock, and we'll start with you being in the locker room. This Ravens team seems really, really motivated and determined. Now that that game is by them against Pittsburgh, all eyes are on that divisional matchup, whoever it's going to be.
No, this is a hungry bunch. And if you look at their playoff schedule, like the bye week schedule practice-wise from 2019, it was much lighter than it is now. This is going to be like a normal week of practice. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Michael Pierce said they're going to do like a closed stadium practice on Saturday. Yeah. So they're going to be working. They're not going to be away, like hanging out with their families. They're going to be strictly business and locked in. We've talked about locked in. It's a theme of this season, from Lamar to Roquan Smith to a ton of other guys. This team is locked in. They're ready to go. I even asked those guys, I don't know if we have that video. If we don't, it's okay. But I asked them about the doubters because I said, listen, you guys have locked up the 1 seed. You locked up a first-round bye, but there are still going to be people out there that doubt this team. And Odafe Owe was like, all I got to say, the only message I have is no U-turns. It's like no turning back. No turning back if we go and win this thing. And that's really how this team feels. They're close. Multiple guys have said this is the closest locker room they've been a part of since college, since high school. So it's not just about the product and the talent they're putting out on the field. It's about how locked in they are as a group in the locker room and the chemistry they're building week in and week out, day in and day out with each other as well.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like this is it's a team that is, we've talked about teams being together, and when things go well, you can see after the Ravens beat the Dolphins how excited the culture, what they've worked on, it embodied really everything that Baltimore's been this year. A very tough, competitive football team that also loves to have fun. But Zach, as everyone knows, this was a very similar situation for the Ravens in 2019. And obviously a lot of these, a good amount of players weren't a part of that team. But that's the narrative as we go into the playoffs here is, can the Ravens, now with the bye yet again, they have that time off, are they going to be rusty when the time comes?
What was it? 2017, the Ravens went into London against the Jaguars and got absolutely destroyed. Come to this year, Ravens have to go back to London, and they completely changed how they approach the game, travel, practice, everything, and they go out and beat the Titans. 2019, the Ravens get the bye week. And like Rocco said, it was a little bit more relaxed. It was more of a bye week. It was more of a, okay, let's rest up. Let's get guys, you do your own thing. But for the most part, it's a bye week. This year, it's not like that. It's a practice week. It's okay, we don't know our opponent, but we are going to continue to compete against ourselves and stay in that mindset of we are in go mode. So now it's, 2019, a lot of people want to say it's the same. I don't think it's the same at all. I think this team is very different. And the way I saw it, I brought this up last episodes, when they were up big on Miami, John Harbaugh pulls aside guys after a touchdown and says, hey, keep reminding everyone, we've been here before. Keep your, we're going to score. Keep the gas on the pedal. And that's been, I think, the biggest difference is these guys aren't satisfied right now. They're not going, oh, we're the 1 seed. We got to play. Anyone's got to play us. They're going out there and they're saying, we need to go take it to whoever has to come to Baltimore.
Zach, looking at their, they didn't take a bye week after the London trip, but they came back after that game, after maybe some jet lag.
Yeah.
And they went out and beat the snot out of the Lions, if you remember, 38-6. After the bye week this year, they took it week 13, and they just had a grueling stretch going forward, and they responded accordingly. They did give up 31 points to Los Angeles, but they have some weapons on the offensive side of the ball, and they showed it in that game. To not the Chargers, to the Rams. So they ended up winning that. It was a walk-off Tylan Wallace game where he walked off with the punt return in overtime.
Very good Rams team.
I think this team, like you said, and players have said it, it's a different team than 2019. And players might not have said this, but they're much more talented than they were in 2019.
Much more talented, and I think
both sides of the ball.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think right now you're seeing, Zach, great example. The Ravens are trying to not let history repeat itself. And nothing bothers you more as a competitor than having to live with past failures. If you're that set on what the aspirations are. And what I mean by that is the Ravens want to win a Super Bowl. 2019, the vibes were high. The Ravens just steamrolled everyone. And then in an instant, the Ravens were done. And it was like, what the hell happened? And as a player, for me, I look back when I played, baseball, not even an amateur, if I was playing basketball or whatever it may be, when we had great moments, if we failed to reach an expectation as a team, it stuck with me. It pissed me off. And I still even remember back to high school, my senior year, and I didn't have the next chance to rewrite that. And this is on a smaller level, but just for people to understand this, when you feel like you go out there and dominate, and for my senior year, we were the best team in high school. We were the best team in the conference. And all of a sudden, we sucked for the last week, the most important week. And that was the end of my high school career. And that shit stuck with me. And that was a failure I couldn't get back. For players, they might not get another opportunity. And the guys that did get another opportunity that are leading this team right now, including John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson, Marlon Humphrey, they are making sure that this team remembers what happened in 19. Because unless and that's the other thing that's crazy, as great as the Ravens have been all these years, they've never hosted an AFC Championship game.
No. And I think the biggest difference is 2019 did not have the ability to get punched in the mouth. As soon as Tennessee came out there and took the lead and the Ravens couldn't just induce their will and go and, run it down your throat and dominate the game, as soon as the 2019 team was behind, it was over. We've seen multiple times, they're down 5-0 after some catastrophic stuff goes on in the 49ers game, come back, dominate. They're down 7-0 after Miami, a top offense, just flies down the field and takes the lead. Then they go out and dominate. This team has been punched in the mouth over and over, and they've responded unlike a way we ever saw the 2019 team even need to. And I think that's the biggest thing is 2019 hadn't gotten punched in the mouth first until the Tennessee game, and they didn't have a way. They had to learn on the fly how to get out of that. This team has been there. They've fought through those situations, and they are much more equipped offensively and defensively to handle those situations.